Hey cuties, welcome back to 5 Years Time Podcast with your host, Grace. I'm so excited that you've joined us this week. We have a great episode ahead of us. I tried out something new the past few days and I'm excited to report back. That being said, before we jump in, we'll have a catch up, of course, but I guess I'll just give you an overview of what this week's episode is about. I tried a little bit of a social media rest break. I didn't fully intend for it to be as long as it was, but I'll get into more about my reasonings and where I hope to move forward from this past few days of resting and chilling out over social media, or I guess without social media. But let's get into our catch up. This past week was so good. I feel like we came out of like snowy to sunshine glory. I don't even know. We've been having every single season in February, I feel, and I'm not mad about it. Like every day is a new mood and I'm here for it. I'm here to embrace it. But we had an extra long weekend, so everyone, Trevor and Ro had Friday off and Monday off for family day. So we had an extra long weekend of just hanging out as a family and chillaxing. I had such a restful weekend, which was wonderful. Our whole plan for this weekend was rest because obviously we had 2 busy weekends previous, going to Great Wolf Lodge and then away for the wedding. And then we have 2 busy weekends following, um, where we'll be busy next weekend doing a bunch of volunteer stuff. And then the following weekend, we plan to go away. So we were like, we really need to just like take a chill and relax. And I fully didn't intend to like also cut out social media, but it just felt really natural and it was a supernatural progression. But again, we'll get into that. But yeah, so I spent a lot of time catching up on entertainment and different shows. As you know, the past few weeks, I just haven't had the opportunity to, or like the yearning. I've also been going to bed so early, but I feel like I really embraced um, some good veg out TV time, which is always a favorite of mine. An update on the cinnamon buns I told you last week that I was working on. They turned out so beautiful. The heart ones, they were so fun, and they were so delicious. Like I'm already craving them, but they definitely are a labor of love. Our Valentine's date that I said was my bud last week was so fun. We went to Bourbon Smoke, or is it called Smoke Bourbon? Either one. It's on Paul Street in St. Catharines, and it's so good. We went there once before last year around this time when it just opened. And I don't know how we haven't gone back there because it was such a phenomenal experience last year. So as soon as Trevor was like, "Where do you want to go for lunch?" I was like, "We should definitely go to the BBQ place again." So they specialize in barbecue. They also do deep fried, so good. Yeah, so we got a share platter where you got to choose 3 proteins and then it came with a couple sides you chose. And their sides are also just like mwah, phenomenal. Like, oh, it's literally all drool worthy. It's so good. So our mains or our proteins we got was the Nashville chicken, which is just honestly, when I say they do fried good, they do it so good. So the Nashville chicken, which is like this big piece of deep fried chicken, and they put it on a piece of white bread. Oh, and its flavor is so good. And it comes with a sauce. I can't remember what kind of sauce it is, some sort of creamy deliciousness. And then we got the brisket, which I will always get brisket if we're going to a barbecue place and you choose your protein sides. I will always get brisket because I do not have a smoker, so I will never make brisket on my own. Like I just feel like smoked brisket is just the next level. It's always so good. So I always get brisket and it was melt in your mouth delicious. And then a new thing we hadn't had before is we got the shrimp and it was exactly what I was hoping for. I was like, I hope they're not just like breaded shrimp or whatever. No, they were like these big, beautiful battered shrimp with this spicy dip, creamy sauce. It was so good. And then for our sides, I let Trevor choose because I was feeling overwhelmed by all this selection and I was just like, you choose. I can't narrow it down. So we got the potato salad, which was delicious, and the cornbread, which I am not, this might be controversial, but I'm not a big cornbread person, but I think I never had good cornbread before. I also like rarely get it because maybe the one or two experience I've had, I felt like, I don't know, it didn't really add any value to the meal for me. This cornbread was creamy and moist and like bready all at the same time. Like the creamy thing was confusing me. I was like, "Oh, this is so good." And they had it like grilled. Oh, it was so good. And then it comes with a big helping of pickles on the side. Oh my gosh, cuties. It's literally so good. Anyways, I will dream about that meal and I now need to remember to go back there before a year from now because it's just absolutely delicious. So that was a wonderful day date. The sun was also shining and it was just lovely. Another thing, I have a lot of food updates. Cinnamon buns, our meal. Another food update was I made these tacos that were absolutely amazing. Trevor had bought this giant piece of pork like a while back and we cut it up into different pork chops and whatever. And I remember him telling me he put a big piece in the freezer just in case we wanted to make like pulled pork or something. And I was like, why don't we make tacos? Like that sounds absolutely delicious. And so we made slow cooker tacos with this pork and like cola, orange juice, all these other things we put on it, spices, whatever. But the revolutionary thing was I feel like I never use when you go to restaurants and you get tacos on corn tortillas, I feel like they're so good. But anytime I buy store-bought corn tortillas, even when I like heat them up, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Like I feel like it's not right. So I'd seen this TikTok where someone was saying that you like fry the tortilla like with the meat inside. So you put meat and cheese and then you like make it almost like a quesadilla, but it's not because it's more meat than cheese, but same concept. And then you fry it on both sides in the pan. Oh my gosh, it was a game changer. And then I made a mango salsa for the side. And I feel like I made something else for the side too. What did I make? Oh, cilantro lime rice, which my friend Ken was like, she's a rice aficionado. And she was telling me, Grace, you got to try cilantro lime rice. And I was like, okay, Ken, I'm going to do it. It was so good. I feel like I always forget about rice. So I'm like opening up to experimenting with making more different rice dishes. It was delicious. And I still have half the pork that I like saved in a container in the freezer. So that'll be such a delicious meal to have sometime soon because I also have half the cheese left. I went to the like actual Latin grocery to get the right cheese and oh my gosh, it's called panella. It is so good. Like Rosie could not stop nibbling on it while I was cooking and I was like, okay, I'm going to try it too, obviously. And I was like, this cheese is creamy and like the right amount of salt. Oh, it was so good. So anyways, we will definitely be having that in the next week or two because I don't want the cheese to go bad. Oops, I hit the mic. But it was so good. So if you're looking for a taco recipe, and it honestly was not overwhelming because it was a slow cooker, like there was a little bit of prep obviously because you had to like cook the individual tacos, but I found that so much better because even the leftovers, like we had a few tacos left over and you just put it in a container and then you can heat them up the next day. Like you don't have to have all these containers with all these things in it. Oh, it was phenomenal. So if you're looking for a taco recipe, looking at like revamping your taco night, definitely go check out my TikTok because it was so good. Okay, let's get into our snack and drink of the week. So, my drink of the week, let me grab it. Doo-doo-doo. Ooh, she fancy this week. I went for a sparkling orange juice. I was totally like vibing. I was like, oh, we have orange juice. We also had Prosecco, but I was like, I'm not going to have Prosecco today because I just can't justify opening a bottle of Prosecco for myself and not drink the whole thing. Like, I'm not going to drink the whole thing. That's why I can't justify opening it. But like, yeah, because you can't save it, right? I do need to get one of those corks. I think you can get a cork. I've seen them at the wineries that they're not actually a cork, but like they're a topper that like is for sparkling wine to like properly seal it so that you don't have to finish it all in one day. So I think I need to invest in one of those, especially like coming into the warmer months. You never know when you just want a little, what is this even called when you put Prosecco in it? My mind is totally blanking. Prosecco and orange juice. Mimosa. I was like, what are these things called? And a Bellini is with nectar. Peach nectar, is that right? I'm not sure if it's specific to the fruit or whatever. But anyways, I just went for, we have sparkling orange flavored like LaCroix. So that and some orange juice. Cheers, cuties. Refreshing. Delicious. So that is my drink of the week. And I feel like anytime we don't have juice very often in the house, but I needed orange juice for my tacos. So now it's like, oh, I gotta sassify it a bit, make it a little more fancy. Cause I'm not usually like, I won't just have a cup of juice. Usually that's not my cup of tea. I like a little something, something, something. Anyways, my snack of the week is cheese and chips. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know. I explained it to Trevor. He's like, yes, that's nachos. And I was like, yes, it is nachos, but it's not nachos because of the way that I formulate it, how I came to the decision to have this snack. So we have some blue corn tortilla chips from the Niels brothers, which are my favorite from them, is the blue corn ones. I usually like them just dipped in hummus. They're so good as like a snack platter accompaniment, whatever. Anyways, I was yesterday, I was like, Trevor and Ro were at the park, and I was like, oh, I could go for a little snack, but it was like kind of before, it was about 11ish. I wasn't sure what time they were coming home, if we were going to have like a proper lunch before Ro went for a nap, or if we were just going to like find our own thing. I wasn't sure what the plan was. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just have a bowl of chips because I had some Mrs. Vicky's. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have some bowl of chips. But I then went up to the like snack cupboard and saw the chips, and then I also saw the Niels brother, and I was like, oh yeah, and we have salsa and sour cream. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll make like a layered dip. I'll just do some sour cream and some salsa and some cheese on top. And then I'll have those, and that'll be a little more satiating for me. So I was like, just in case we are doing our own thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I like started scooping up the sour cream, putting it on a shallow dish, and then I was about to put the salsa on top and start grating the cheese. And I was like, wait, what if I just put the cheese on the chips and put them in the oven to heat them up a bit, and then just made the salsa sour cream dip? It's like, that sounds great. Like, that sounds like real good. So then I did that, and then I put the chips and cheese are in the oven toasting up, and then I put the salsa on, and then I was like, ooh, I'm going to put some olives on and some hot peppers. And so I just put anything in the fridge that looked good. So I was making a layer dip. It wasn't 7 layer dip. It wasn't 7 layers, but like a layer dip. And then I had these cheesy chips, which, yes, they're nachos, but they're not nachos because the way I make nachos is a little bit different than that. And I don't normally make like a layered dip for the side. So my new snack of this week is my cheesy chips with a layered dip. And it was absolutely delicious. And I was satiated for a good chunk of the afternoon until dinner time. So I was very happy with that snack. It all worked out because then Trevor and Ro came home and they were like not in the mood for lunch. Well, Ro just had a little bit of a snack and then was down for nap. And yeah, so I was very happy. So cheese and chips or nachos, whatever you want to call them, but I'm calling them cheese and chips and layered dip. I even wrote in brackets, lol. Okay, so let's get into this week I learned. This week I learned that taking a social media break is very important. Now, I fully did not intend to do this. I was already in my mind thinking like, oh, I'm going to like slow down. Well, I knew for this weekend for sure. I was like, I don't think I'm going to post much this weekend because and I wasn't fully I didn't under not that I didn't understand. I forgot that this weekend was a 4-day weekend. And I was thinking more like Saturday and Sunday. I was like, I think I'm going to like take a chill on Saturday and Sunday, like not feel like I need to post so much. This is majority TikTok. Like I always will post on Sunday my vlog, but that already goes up. Like I have been really good at vlogging, like really good at my vlogging editing process, and I've been getting it all situated on Friday so that I don't even have to think about it on the weekend. So I think I'm just trying to like really set good boundaries for my work and social media um and family time. Like I think I'm just trying to like set good boundaries for myself because I find like every time I get in a good flow, then I'm like, "Oh, great. I have more time to do more things." But I'm trying to like remind myself like work smarter, not harder. Also, don't like why do I want to do so many things? Why do I feel like I need to always do more, 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 more? Like no, I don't need to do more, 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 more. I just need to figure out what my priorities are and then create a schedule that works for me. Or at least not even necessarily a schedule because I find sometimes I don't like when it comes to creativity, like TikTok and stuff like that, and creative outlets and videos, I don't like having um like videos that I mandatory post, not mandatory, but like where I feel pressure that, okay, every Monday I have to post this, or every Tuesday I post this, or every whatever. Like, I actually don't like that. I thought I might like that. I tried to try that out at one point, and I think I like then was like, then I feel like I'm being cornered into a box where like I actually want to do something else, where I feel like TikTok and anything social and creative should be all about just like, for me, being authentic and just creating where my passion lies at the time. And that's my approach there. So I just wanted to refigure out what my boundaries are, because I feel like it's a very slippery slope um to being too immersive and spending way too much time on my phone and not immersing in the wrong place, like immersing online versus immersing in person, which is what I want. So it's just like figuring out what I want from this job path, and what I want, um, why I decided to go this way as opposed to getting a more standard 9 to 5 job or part time in person, whatever. You know what I mean? So just like trying to figure that all out. So I ended up taking time this weekend to just like chill completely unintentionally, in the sense of I didn't mean for it to be like the prolonged 4 days, but it felt so good. And I also didn't feel, I kind of was just like, okay, I think I like eased into it on Friday. And then I like maybe posted a Instagram story here or there on Saturday. And then I definitely posted an Instagram story on Sunday to promote the vlog, which like I will always do. But other than that, like I wasn't posting on TikTok. I wasn't like interacting with comments. Maybe I interacted with a comment here or there on Friday, but like this is what I'm trying to say. It was a very relaxed, chilled um break. So there was no like, you have to do this, don't do this, like whatever. I think the big goal for me was to just not go on my phone first thing in the morning. Um like for a prolonged period of time. Like not even just 5 minutes. Like I wanted to like enjoy a morning with myself, with my family, and like get out of the house before I even go on my phone. That was the big goal. And I've like done that. Like I did it the first day and I felt so good. It's so funny, it was Trevor ended up doing it too. Like I didn't even tell him what I was doing, and then I think like halfway through the day, he's like, "Oh, I haven't been on my phone yet, and I'm feeling so good." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like we're on the same wavelength. Same thing for me." So yeah, that felt so good. And I feel like I just needed to do it, because like every time I like wanted to do it, I kept like pushing that boundary for myself and ended up going on it here, going on it there. And I was like, I just need to do it. And so I did it Friday, Saturday, and then it just became like routine. I know that's not how quickly a routine happens, but even today, I fully was like, I can do whatever I want today. um, and I woke up and I just did not want to go on my phone, and I didn't go on it until I came home from picking up Row, and it was like, wow, this feels so good. I don't even bring it out of my room. Like right now I keep it, it's on my side table, and I don't know, that's what I was trying to figure out. Is that the best place for it to be, or should I have it somewhere else so it's not next to me first thing in the morning? But like for now that's working. So it works in the sense that like once I leave my room, I typically don't go back in my room until I get dressed, which isn't usually until like right before we're going to leave out the house. So it's like I don't even have time to be on my phone. So yeah, that's good. It's feeling good. But so out of this weekend, what I really like stepped back and was able to think about was, how do I want to set my new boundaries, and what do I want to, I need to refresh and restart. Um or like restart and refresh, I guess, with like new expectations for myself, in the sense of like, I feel so much pressure to post more all the time. Like even when I set boundaries for myself, being like, I'm only going to post once a day or I'm only going to post twice a day. And then I feel like instantly, sometimes I post like more than that a day. And that is never like, that I don't feel like is ever pressure. That's just me being like, oh, I have so much stuff to say today. I feel on in the camera. Like it is a lot to make a TikTok or to make my style of TikTok. It's not, I'm not saying it's a lot like in comparison to long form content and time and energy it takes to edit it or create a concept or any of that. But it is a lot to show up on camera and have my energy and have, and like, yes, that is who I am. That is my personality. But like, you're not always showing your personality at all times, especially when you're just like making a meal at the end of a day for your family after like a long day of doing things. Like you're not always on in that sense. So it's a lot for me to um create a TikTok. Like I feel like it is very draining. um and sometimes I feel so energized and so inspired and ready and active, and it feels so natural. And sometimes it's just like I don't feel that way. And yes, I can film a video, but then at the end of filming that video, I'm going to feel displeased. I'm going to feel like normally I feel like, oh, I wasn't my best self during that video. And that's typically not what, and I end up editing it like maybe the next day. And I'll feel like, oh, it was a fine video. Like I'm totally fine. But I feel not how I'm being perceived, but I feel in that video like, oh, like I don't feel my best self. And then at the end of filming it, which is typically the end of the day, I just feel so drained. And like, then I don't want to edit it. And then by the time I go to edit it the next day, it takes convincing for me to edit it. Like it feels like a task to edit it. Where I love when it's like, I love filming a video and loving the whole process. And most of my videos is that's how I feel. But I feel recently I've been feeling really like overwhelmed with this like sense of like needing to do more and being more, and it's like that's not why. I need to stop thinking that there's more that I can be doing when I think it's less. I think it's less that I need to be doing. Um and I think that was a hard thing for me to figure out. But this weekend really put that into perspective because I'm totally someone who can just sit in the abyss, like just like be with herself. Like I've always been, this is what I always think of. Like I've always been the person who sits in a car and can stare out the window for hours and just like be content doing that. And it's not that I'm staring out the window not thinking anything. It's like I'm staring out the window appreciating the way the road is moving and the trees are blowing and like creating, I don't know, joy within the moment of what I'm doing. Like I feel like I've always been someone like that. But when I'm creating so much for online, especially for TikTok, when I'm filming these little things that I love doing, I love cooking, I love um like all these different lifestyle avenues. I love getting right, like all these different things. I love doing those things. But when I'm filming every single time I'm doing it, like it takes away the actual joy of doing it or takes away like what I find joyful in it. So I think I'm just realizing like I need to do less so that I have those times where I'm having intimate moments cooking with myself and the food, like just no audience, just like enjoying the process and putting on music or being with my thoughts, and just like really feeling the flow and the dance of cooking alone. And I think that's something that I've been missing out on because I always feel like when I'm cooking something, it's like that's something interesting or new, I'm like, oh, I should show. Like, I'm going to be sad if I don't show this opportunity. Like, the people want to know. And it's like, great, there'll be other opportunities to show. Like, if it turns out good, you'll want to make it again. It's okay. Like, you don't need to. It's not a missed opportunity. It's a growth opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to connect with yourself, which is the best opportunity you can have. It's an opportunity for you to grow in your cooking. Best opportunity you can have. It's an opportunity for you to be present in this moment. Best opportunity you can have. So I think I just needed time to realize like what is it that I want out of this, because I think social media is one of those things where you don't actually, like, if you don't sit down and actually think about what is it that you actually want, it can feel very, very like, I need more views, more engagement, more followers, more videos, more this, more that. I need more that. But like at the end of the day, I'm what am I actually getting out of that? Like what am I actually wanting from my TikTok? And what I'm actually wanting is to have a community of engaged and like-minded people who love to meet with each other and celebrate enjoy of simple things like cooking a meal together, or chatting over a meal, or celebrating a day out in the world of doing an activity or going on an adventure. Like, that's what I want. And I'm very, very happy with what I have. And I find anytime that I do have like growth spurts, like let's say a video goes viral and then all of a sudden there's more attention brought to your page. Anytime that happens, I feel so much anxiety over the comments that come in. And like, I am someone who has very good comment boundary. The second someone that there's a comment on a video that makes me feel uncomfortable, like I do not like that, I will not go back to that video again. Like, I will not. And it's sad because they ruin it for other people, so I won't comment to other people because I will not go back to that video. But like, I do not open my eyes to see too much of the negativity. But like, when there's a video that's going viral, it brings so much like negativity to your page. So that's not even what I want. I'm not looking for virality. Good job, Grace. You said that word. What I'm looking for is just to connect with the people who have come into my world already and are so great. You, all of you, like seriously. And I'm so grateful for that. So why do I feel like I need to be more when you already know me and appreciate me for what I have to offer? And I can't continue to be myself and give great content if I'm not valuing what I actually want out of this world, which is I want it balanced life. I wanted a life where I didn't feel like I was missing out on my family and what I've worked hard for and for the life that I've created. Like, I wanted a life where I felt like I got to embrace each day as it came, and that involves a lot more balance than what I'm what I'm doing right now, because I just get so caught up in feeling not enough when it comes to being online too often. And so I think what I need to do is stop being online so often. And yeah, this weekend was very refreshing saying that. I also have written so many notes and I haven't looked at them once. I'm really just talking and I'm like, did I say everything I wanted to say? I remember writing something down and being like, oh yeah, don't forget to say that point. And I literally have no idea where it is. But I just feel like the online, oh yeah, I have said the points. Don't worry. But I just feel like the online space is so strange because there is so much beauty that is given online. And I feel this all that, like, I feel this when I view TikTok. Um, and I'm talking predominantly TikTok because that's where I usually spend most of my time. But like, I feel this on TikTok. Like, I feel like I learn so much. Like, when I'm viewing it as a consumer, I feel like I learn so much and there's so much value added. And I just feel like there's so many opinions and things that I would never be exposed to if I didn't have TikTok, which really have helped me discover who I am and shape myself and my values. But then I also feel like there's jump scares on there. Like, I don't want to know about murders right before bed, or like I don't, or I feel like there is like this like toxic energy that comes out every so often and you don't have control over what videos you're going to consume, which is like there's positive and there's negative. Oh, another thing I did this weekend was I went through my TikTok followers and I really cleaned them out. Like, I felt like there were so many, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I was getting so many coaches on my page and I was like, am I following all these coaches? Like, why do I have so many of them? Um I just felt like every other video was a social media coach coming and telling me like why I'm not doing well, and I'm like, who, you don't even know me and why am I listening to you? Like, I know you're not talking specifically to me, but like that's the way I consume the video, is like, oh, you're right. Like, I'm not doing enough here. I need to be doing this or whatever. And it's like, why? I'm just trying to like turn off the noise. Like, anytime I've had a meeting or I have had a video come on my page or talk to someone about social media, in a professional aspect, like it's been a social media coach or it's been meeting with like management teams or whatever, um, I feel like every time I leave those, I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I need to stop that. Like, that, that's not true. And I need to stop letting these people validate an insecurity inside of me. I am enough. I am more than enough. And I need to be true to what I want out of this and not get clouded with like all the flash and like what other people are wanting or like what the possibilities are, when it's like, okay, but what possibilities do I want to make happen? Yeah. So I think this weekend was just like a really big refresh for me. And that's not me saying that I've like fully created what I want the future to be. And also, I know that like it ebbs and flows and changes and refreshes will continue to happen. But I think I've realized that I need to just like step back and not post as much or feel pressure to post as much. And it used to be, for me, it used to be like I was posting so much every day and that felt really natural for me. And then it was like, okay, now you need to start posting here and here and here. Like other people that I have meetings with, they're like, you got to post here, 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 here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So then it's like I'm having to post all these places on all these different platforms and it's feeling like so overwhelming. And then I'm like, okay, but like I'm not now generating the same type of content I was for TikTok the way I wanted it to. Anyways, I just need to like stop being clouded. And I used to say, like, I'm not going to post this many videos a day. And it's less about me setting boundaries that way. It's more about me saying it's okay to not post today. That's what matters because some days I want to post like 6 videos. It just feels like that's the progression of my day. Like, oh, especially like on grocery shopping in days. It's like, oh, I went grocery shopping. Now I have a new meal. Now I have a haul. Now I have this and whatever. Like sometimes it feels really natural to do that. Sometimes it feels natural to post 1 or 2 videos. But it's okay to not post any videos. That is the important thing that I need to remind myself. It is okay. Like, the world is not ending when you're not posting, and it is okay. And what is happening when you're not posting? You're now fully immersing yourself into whatever's going on in my real world, and that is what I want. I want that. Like, I love that. I feel so much gratitude, and I feel like I care better for the world that I live in when I'm more present in it. Like, this week, this past week we organized, or was it 2 weeks ago, whatever, we organized our main floor. And I believe I talked to you about this. I definitely vlogged about it, but we got all new containers and baskets and things, and we organized all of Rose's stuff. And we've been staying so good and on top of like just keeping the house, that main floor clean. It feels so good. And like, it doesn't feel like a task or a chore at all. It just feels like I'm caring for something that I love. It feels so good. And that led me to this past week cleaning out our bedroom. Finally, we've just been like, our room was a disaster, but I cleaned out our room properly. Trevor cleaned out Rose's room. We cleaned out the guest bedroom. Everything just feels so much better. We make all the beds in the morning, um, and everything just feels tidy and cared for and loved for. And then this past weekend, like today, Ro wanted to go downstairs and play like in the basement. And we have this area that we fully intend for it to be Ro's like play area. And we've tried to make it her area once or twice, but it's definitely gone with the seasons and become storage here, storage there. But she's at this point where I think she's craving an area downstairs for play. That's what it seemed like this morning. And I'm also craving an area for, I have so much stuff in our like storage room that I need to find a home for. So it would be nice to create that. So later today, it's like I'm going to care for our basement and I'm going to create that and care for Ro and show love and support. And those things I wouldn't have time for if I was editing 5 million videos, not 5 million, but if I'm editing 3 videos every day, um, it becomes very overwhelming and I feel very burnt out myself because it's not even just the editing. It's then it's like, okay, all morning I spend filming, all afternoon I spend editing, and those things are exhausting. And then in the evening I film again because I film dinner. So it's like I personally am just like I don't have that energy. And I don't, maybe sometimes I do have that energy, but I don't want to use that energy. I don't want to use my energy that way anymore. I want to be really thoughtful with how I use my energy, and I want to create more consistency on how I use that energy instead of being so like, okay, I'm going to do all these videos this day. And then one week it's like, okay, I'm like, don't have that energy, but I feel like I need to at least do one this day. It's more like, okay, why don't I just do like a few videos whenever and chill? Like, I'm just trying to like figure that out. So, I feel like this conversation was a little bit all over the place, but I'm truly speaking from my heart and the experience of this past week. And I think what I want you to take from this is whether you be a creator or wanting to be a creator or just you being a human enjoying life and social media. I just want you to know that there is so much beauty outside of your phone. And I think that the power we give to social media and what we consume online is too much. Like, I think that we need to stop. I think that affects how we view everything. Like when we're on our phone, it makes us feel like, oh, we're missing out on something, or oh, we're not doing enough, or oh, this person always looks so good with all their outfits put together. Like there's too much comparison that lies there. And yes, I listened from when we talked earlier this year about comparison and you want someone to come on the podcast. I think I've found the perfect guest. I've put out my feelers and I've heard from a few people, but I think I found the perfect guest to come on and talk about comparison. I think we're going to learn a lot from that. So don't worry, that there will be an episode coming out all about comparison soon. But I just feel like there's so much beauty that lives in the actual present moment of the day. And I think it's so important for us to just like turn off our phones and stop scrolling and feel gratitude and love and joy in what is happening in, I don't know, the present moment, in the way that the light dapples between the tree branches this time of year on the floor, like things like that, and bring me so much joy. And sometimes I just want to sit and stare at that. Like, I know that sounds like it's boring, but it's not. Also, I have an episode all about, I think it's called um something boring. It has something boring in the title. I'm going to link it below, and it's all about how beautiful boredom is and how we should embrace being bored more often. So if that's something that you struggle with, like filling your life with, I was going to say chaos, but that's not what I meant at all. Filling your life with distraction, or feeling like the need to be a busybody all the time, I think that that's a great episode for you to listen to. So I will make sure to link that in the show notes. But yeah, so that's what I learned this week, is that there is so much beauty in refreshing and resetting boundaries around social media. And sometimes it just takes a moment to step back and then feel how you feel when you've stepped back. Like I meant to step back for 2 days, ended up stepping back for 4, and I feel like I will be coming back in a different way. And that feels really good to me. Um, yeah. Okay, so let's move into our next thing, our roses, our thorns, and our buds. Excuse me. I just had a little bit of a coughing fit. Too many bubbles up the nose. Okay. My roses, buds, and thorns. So my rose was just having a super refreshing weekend and such a sunny weekend. Like even yesterday it said it was supposed to rain, and there was one point in the middle of the day where it looked like it might rain, and then the sun popped back out. It was so lovely. So I am just so grateful for that. Another rose, I'm putting 2 in here because I'm really grateful. Was that I was reached out to by a online magazine. I believe it's an online magazine. I don't know, some sort of publication, about a article that they're writing regarding snacks and the new form of snacking. And anyways, they wanted some of my insight, which like snack queen on the scene, insight from me. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it was so fun. So I think that article's coming out maybe this week or next week, but I will definitely be sure to update on Instagram and probably TikTok, because I just think that's so exciting. I am really happy to be known as like a snack queen cutie. Like that's literally my personality. That is my party trick. I said something to her in the meeting or in the interview that I had put 2 and 2 together recently, was that in my personal Instagram, like I have a personal Instagram that's just for my family and friends that I've had for like ever, since like Instagram became Instagram. My bio in that Instagram for like years, like I don't think it was the first bio I ever had, but it's been there for probably like 10 years, is snacks and bad dancing. Like that's that bio. And I probably put that there because I was like, how do I describe myself? I love snacks and I love dancing. I'm not that good at it. Anyways, that's literally like my who people consume me to be online. Like I didn't move that bio to like my public accounts. I didn't even think about it or remember that it was there. But I've just put that together as like that actually is who I am, like to a T. So if you're worried that you're not fully getting the real me, you're fully getting the real me. Not that I thought you were worried about that. Okay. My thorn is a house of sick. I feel like everyone's going through a sick phase again. I'm a little nervous. I was feeling a little congested this weekend, but that's another reason I really stepped back. I was like, we cannot re enter what fall was. Like, I have a lot of anxieties and I'm trying to be chill about how consistently sick we all were in the fall, it really destroyed me, like, truly. If you listened to the podcast near the end of last year, you know it did. Like, I was going through it. Yeah, so I just felt like Ro's been fine, but, like, she's definitely been stuffed up. She's always gonna be stuffed up, you know what I mean? But, like, then Trevor got like a cold and he was like down for the count for a few days and I was like, "Oh no, it's a bad cold." Like I do not want this. And I feel bad because I want to be loving and supportive wife, but I'm like quarantine. Like I'm like get away from me, no hugs, no kisses, no like I love and support from a distance. I will clean the germs off the bathroom. I will bring you food. I will hold my breath when I come in to deliver it, but like I am not consuming what you're spitting out right now, okay? And I always feel bad and I definitely feel like Trevor is looking for that like love and support and nurturingness and I just know that if I'm going down, it needs to be after you're better. Like we cannot both be sick at the same time because I just know that is going to make me go absolutely not okay. Like, and the house will fall apart and I will just like it's not okay. And I was trying to remind him that. I'm like one of us needs to be good and preferably me because I can keep us going at the pace we're going at. Anyways, so yeah, I just hope that like that doesn't I hope it's just a quick little blip and it's not really going to get us down and I hope that I really don't get it bad. Like I'm cleaning and washing my hands and trying to like go for a walk every day, breathe in fresh air, eat fruits, vegetables, all the good things. You know what I mean? Okay, my bud. Pancake Tuesday. I know you're listening to this on Wednesday, but today is Pancake Tuesday. I'm not sure if you celebrate or not, but I always have. And a cute thing my family has started doing over the past, like, I don't know, maybe like 5-10 years, is that we do like a big Pancake Tuesday with like my aunts and my uncles and my cousins. And so we have our Pancake Tuesday tonight at my aunt's house. It'll be so fun because the pancakes are delicious. Yum. I love breakfast for dinner. And also, it's so fun to see family and I love when Ro gets to get together with the cousins. Like she doesn't have any cousins yet, but my cousins have kids and we just call anyone cousins. Like if your cousins have anything cousins, like if my cousins have cousins or my cousins have kids, then they're my cousins or Ro's cousins. Like you know what I mean? The cousins are cousins. I don't know how you define family, but that's how I do. So Ro's going to have such a fun time. It'll be a little bit of a later night, which is always a little bit fun. I don't know, I'm finding it fun now, like having things to do on evenings every so often, like that involve Ro. Like I'm not about messing up with her sleep schedule too much, but I feel like she's at that age where she's a little bit more adaptable and it feels fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Also looking forward to not having to cook. That being said, when I was on this social media break, I took a cooking break as well. Although me and Ro did wake up this morning and make muffins, which was so fun. And I just feel like I'm going to do more of that stuff now because I used to feel like, oh, we're making muffins. Like I should film it. But it's like, no, I don't have to film it. Then it makes me not want to do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's too much effort. So I'm just getting back into this routine of like, I don't have to film every single thing. Yeah, so we made muffins this morning. That was so fun. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I took a cooking break. I didn't cook this weekend at all. Like, yeah, I put some snacks together, but I don't think made a single meal. I really don't think I did. I think Trevor did it all, and it just felt good. Like, we need to get back to that. When me and Trevor first got married, he cooked everything because I was busy at work, whatever. And then when I went on, then I started cooking more when I went on mat leave, I think. I don't even know. Anyways, we've flown. Like we always stay with the times. But now that I'm making TikToks, like I'm cooking every single meal because I'm like, oh, I need to film another TikTok. But it's like, I need to stop. Just chill. Also, like, why can't I do a taste test of what Trevor made us for dinner? I'm just trying to look at my content different so I don't have to be like on all the time. But yeah, so that's my bud is Pancake Tuesday. And I hope if you had pancakes last night that you enjoyed them very much. Okay, entertainment recap. Cuties, I have consumed so much stuff. And this is where it's at. I got to tell you, I tried One Tree Hill and I don't know if I'm going to go back because it was just a little too cheesy for me. I'm not saying I'm not going to try it ever again. I just don't think it was like right for me at right that time. Like I could not get into it. And to be fair, I was not giving it a fair chance because I was like only watching half an episode here while I folded a basket of laundry or half an episode there where like the true way I like to get into a show is a good old binge, right? Like when you have an evening to watch a few things or an afternoon to watch whatever or like a full day. Like I love that. Anyways, this weekend I got into Love Island, which I'm so grateful for because I love Love Island so, so much. So when I'm missing a season, it always makes me feel like, oh, I'm missing out on something I love. Why can't I get into it? Which is fine, but I was able to get into it. I think it just took me a couple episodes, and I had tried like 3 times or 2 times prior, which means that I watched a few episodes distractedly, but I needed to just watch them, like sit and watch a few episodes full on, no distraction. I think that's another thing is like I was doing too much. I think people are calling it habit stacking now, which I haven't looked into what habit stacking is, but it's called multitasking, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's good. And I need to stop doing so much multitasking. That's a whole nother thing of what I learned this week was that, or this weekend over this like chill from social media is there's so much beauty in not multitasking. And I want to live in that world. Okay. I want to live in the world where I'm not having so much stuff all at once and not actually taking in any of the things. Okay. Anyways, Love Island, absolutely loving it. I'm watching it on Hey You, which means that I think we're a few days behind like what the UK is, but we are at Casa Moore. I watched yesterday's episode Monday, and I'm probably going to watch this episode over lunch after I finish recording this. So yeah, we're in Casa Moore. I'm so excited. I just like am really enjoying it. I do think after Zara left, like the drama has calmed down. At first I was like, oh my gosh, Zara, too much drama. But then you're always like, you need that person. You know what I mean? But I feel like Love Island always goes through waves. It's like, okay, at the beginning, it's like a little bit slow. Then it gets really exciting when the first bombshells come in. Then everyone gets a little too comfortable and it's like a little bit more, okay. And then Casa More comes and it gets really good. Then I feel like after Casa More, like when the first few, like the first week after Casa More is good, but then it gets into like really slow. Like everyone's just chilling. They bring in bombshells, but really there's no point. Um, and then at the end, it's like summer camp when the parents come and you're crying. And yeah, anyways, so Casa More is happening and I'm very much enjoying this season. I'm having lots of fun with it. So if you haven't watched Love Island yet and you're looking for something good, it is available on Hey You. Okay, so I was on Hey You, which I haven't been on for a while because I haven't been watching stuff. And I kept getting ads saying like Summer House. And I'm like, oh my gosh, has Summer House started? Like, I am obsessed with Summer House. And that being said, Winter House as well. But Summer House, for some reason, is so nostalgic to me. It feels like a warm hug, even though it's about drama, but something about it just like feels comfortable for me. So Summer House is back. The first episode was on Valentine's Day, I believe. So there's only one out so far. Well, I think there'll be two now. I think that's Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Tuesdays it comes out. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm very much enjoying it. They have a little interesting bit of a room situation. We're still getting to know. There's a bunch of new people, so we're getting to know them. And there's a little bit of drama between Kyle and what's his face? What is his name? Brunette works for Kyle. Anyways, there's a bit of drama there that seems to be appearing. And yeah, there's room drama because everyone's gonna have to be sharing rooms, I think. But other than that, I mean, not other than that, that's all what adds to the element. I'm looking forward to the summer. I'm looking forward to seeing what's up at the summer house. Okay, Laguna Beach. I started Laguna Beach. Cuties, I'm telling you, I had so much time to watch content. I was really chillaxing this weekend, and that is my perfect weekend. Yeah, so I watched the first few episodes of Laguna Beach, but the quality was so bad that I can only watch a few at a time because yeah, I just like it was giving me a headache almost. But it feels so nostalgic. The when they started the song, let's go back to the beginning, na, 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 Hillary Duff. Anyways, all of the music. I need to make a Laguna Beach playlist because every single song I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm very much enjoying Laguna Beach, but that led me onto YouTube where I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break and watch some YouTube. But then I don't know if YouTube was talking to my TV about what I was watching. I had what was it? The Call Her Daddy episode come up, which I don't think Call Her Daddy actually posts on YouTube. Like it was other people reposting it, which like I feel a little iffy about watching it. I'm like, okay, these people are making money off of. Anyways, I didn't want to watch it on Spotify because then I have to watch it on my phone. But the Call Her Daddy Spencer Pratt interview, which is so random because Spencer Pratt wasn't on Laguna Beach, he was on the hills, but same difference. And I just don't remember much about Spencer Pratt except for that Heidi and Spencer were like super hate it, like nobody liked them. I can't fully remember why. Like I did watch The Hills. I'm sure after Laguna Beach I'll continue on to The Hills, but anyways, I just decided to watch it. And then in the first like second of it, he like walks off the scene and is like being rude. And I was like, oh, I kind of don't want to watch this. I'm not someone who like needs to watch rude people, but I was like, okay, I read the comments, and all the comments were like, oh my gosh, I love Spencer. Like, Spencer, Spencer. And I was like, okay, everyone's like praising Spencer. So I decided to watch it. And he is so fun. Like, it is and then I got into this whole world of reality TV and like the behind the scenes and how they spin things. And it was just this whole thing. But like, if you haven't watched the Spencer Pratt, if you watch The Hills or Laguna Beach, well, mainly The Hills, I guess, for this reason, you need to go watch this interview with Call Her Daddy and Spencer Pratt. It was so good. And I just feel like it gives you so much insight into how this all works and like the dark, dark side, especially of The Hills. And then that leading to Selling Sunset, because the same like icky, awful producer is there. Then it makes you feel bad. You're like, should I be watching this? I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, that was the content. So I've been watching, I think I watched like so many different, then that took me to the Laguna Beach podcast, because the Kristen and what's his name? Steven, they now have a podcast, The Watch Back. I think it's called Back to the Beach. And so they had an episode with Lauren Conrad on it. And so I had to watch that one too. So I've just been like on a rabbit hole, and I've been enjoying this rabbit hole of content. So that's what I've been watching. I'm trying to think if I've been listening to very much music. I don't think I have been, but I do have a Spotify playlist if you want to know what music I am listening to this year. And then, of course, check out our vlogs over on YouTube for the weekly catch up. I'm still vlogging through all of this. And I think that's the thing. Another thing was that I realized like I really value my vlogs, my weekly vlogs. Like I love watching them back. I love watching them back with Rosie. And they just like, they're a real authentic diary of like what is going on each week for me. And I want it to prioritize being able to continue vlogging. And sometimes it feels really overwhelming when I'm vlogging and not YouTubing, vlogging and TikToking and all of this like content in one day, and like Instagram stories, and like then doing the podcast one. Like it just feels like a lot when I'm doing it all at once. So I wanted to figure out how I can do it. Like I want to do all those things, but I don't need to do all of them at once. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's a little bit about what I've been watching. Thank you for coming and listening this week. If you are new, please rate and follow and subscribe. We love having you here. If you're a visual person, we are available on YouTube to watch as well at 5 Years Time Podcast. Go follow me over on TikTok at 5 Years Time Podcast, on Instagram at 5 Years Time Podcast. Thank you so much for being here, sending so much love and joy and sunshine into your week. I can't believe we're rearing, I guess. Is that? I don't know, but nearing the end of February. That just feels so wild. I literally can't believe it. But I did remember to book my pool opening and closing, which I'm feeling good about. Well, because mainly for the closing, because last year I closed it way too late because I missed the booking. So when I called, they were like, "Oh, you can book your closing too." And I'm like, "Yes, thank you," because I was taking too many leaves out of the pool last year. Anyways, that was a side note. But thank you so much for being here, sending you all the love, and your support truly means the world to me. Hugs and kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah.